All right, it's time to take a look at the papers this morning, the Monday edition. And of course, well, the papers are washed with different stories from The Punch, the Daily Sun, This Day, The Nation,
potpourri of stories,
as usual. Yes, a real potpourri of stories. Let's begin with The Punch, but of course not before we introduce Dotun Ojon, a leadership and communication strategist. He does this with us usually on Mondays. Good to see you.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Very well. Very good.
Super. You didn't mention the situation with your car.
You just had to mention that.
All right, let's begin with The Punch. CBN bars banks with huge bad loans from paying dividends. Banks, discount houses with weak capital base also affected. At the last count, we're told that Nigeria's non-performing loans were somewhere around 6 trillion naira. And it looks like shareholders are going to have to bear the brunt of this.
I think it's even going to be better if the brunt is going to be bared by the shareholder. At the end of the day, my prayer is that if you look at the banking sector very critically, there are a lot of cover-ups. If the other time I told you here that if we take illicit fund out of the bank, then many of the banks are going to collapse. In all honesty, the banks are not doing excellently well the way we see them, we see their results on paper. So I think the Central Bank of Nigeria needs at every point in time to keep coming in, because the strategy is promise and fail. When you promise the people at the lowest ebb of the society that when they put their money in the bank, they are going to get interest. At the end of the day, they put their money there. You don't give them interest. Only for the money to end up in the pocket of rich and mighty people in the society who will never pay back.
So don't you think there could be a blowback from this one if shareholders do not get their dividends paid?
I think it's, when you look at the number of people that are involved in our banking sector today, I think it's going to be better to have problem, quote unquote, with the shareholders rather than having with customers who are ordinarily very poor.
Well, you would have thought the CBN, should have acted in the first place to prevent such, huge, non-performing loans. 40% of these non-performing loans are, well,
I think
the banks themselves and bank directors are actually responsible.
That is why the CBN may not be able to get the information almost immediately. You understand? Before the CBN gets to know, many of these loans actually pass through the back doors. So before the CBN will get to know, sometimes it's usually very late.
Moving on now, Obasanjo worships with Jonathan in Otuoke. Of course, you'll find details of that on page 20.
Did you say Gagel?
Gagel.
That is always the turning point in any movie.
He's called for reconciliation.
Yeah. There's the need. At this point now, I think everybody is getting to realize that Jonathan was not totally as satanic as the government actually appeared. The government appeared. The government was extremely very bad. But the man is not as satanic as
the buck stops at his table.
Now we have seen clearly that there's a systemic failure even within our political system. And until we address it, you may want to bring somebody that thinks somebody you think know everything about government. You may still want to have a little problem here and there.
All right, so still other stories.
They are working together may not mean that they are coming back under the same political party. Of course, Obasanjo is not a partisan man anymore.
Well, but the father has forgiven the son.
Absolutely. Well, seeing Obasanjo with him alone speaks a lot, especially to those that follow Nigerian politics.
Twins, nursing mother, 471 other Boko Haram suspects released. Ajimobi will contest senatorial seat in 2019, says aide. And a very tragic one here. Katsina governor's aide kills own daughter with car. Of course,
very, very tragic.
Really tragic.
Very. So we go to the Nation newspaper. The major story on the front page is Catholic bishops confront Buhari over performance. Government tackling challenges, says SGF Mustafa. There are excerpts of their statements here to the cleric John Cardinal Onayekon. Yes, our nation is in a state of uncertainty and confusion. Our nation surely deserves far better than it is now getting. And SGF, the federal government, is taking steps to stem the tide of series of security breaches in some parts of the country.
I think at this point in time we are caught between what we really do need as a people and what we want. Do we really need development, or we want to end division? Because the confusion that this government has brought on board is we are telling you, we are going to develop you, really. But in actual sense, it's like the government is dividing the people. So I think we need to be very careful.
Need is better than want.
Yes, we need to be very, very careful as to what we need at this point. One of the points, when you talk about leadership with character, the letter C there is care for all, irrespective of what political party, irrespective of your tribe and all that. Religion, and I think the body language of the president does not speak loud about actually caring for all. And that is where the problem lies. You may develop the road, you may build every place, but if you do not totally bring your people together, at the end of the day, you will not get the praise.
All right, so we'll go to the top of the nation. Interesting story here. Saboteurs behind refuse, says Cleaner Lagos initiative. An anonymous official in the Cleaner Lagos program told the journalist of the nation that, in fact, the efforts are so much, but there are saboteurs who are sabotaging the effort of the government to clear Lagos of all refuse dumps.
You know, the other time when we talk about refinery, I actually talked about the need to be very careful about submitting our destiny in the hands of capitalists. When you talk about these, what do they call them? The PIP people that were clearing Lagos before.
Visions,
I think, yes, they had...
The new one is
the
Visions.
old one. No, the old one. Yes, they had too much in their hand. They were practically controlling the place because the government, for example, the investment of government was so little. In my place, for example, the government cannot even go near. It is these private individuals that come. So when you submit such a powerful sector into the hands of the people, and suddenly you wake up and realize that there's the need for you to do it better, then you should be expecting things like this. This is an excuse that I will not take from the Lagos state government. Because even talking, I've been hearing about Cleaner Lagos initiative from radio now for more than 7 months. This period is enough for you to fix some certain things. If
have you seen those red, green bins
of course I've seen
area?
them. No, not in my area.
You haven't?
I haven't seen them.
Which
in my
area
area.
is that?
Ikorodu. Inner part of Ikorodu. And when you want to take care of the people, the first thing you think about refuse management is people
All right. Well, the special advisor to the governor on CLI, Shabi, told us that it's a gradual process, but they are on it and they're working non-stop.
It's getting better, though. I think some places that have seen refuse now are just, you get there this morning and they're clear.
Okay, so we run through the rest of the stories, cost of time. Buddha Tato troops get Shekau dead or alive, but though not the first time. Anyway, there is even a bounty on his head. Roa, Eagles' door not close to new players as they look ahead to the World Cup. Sterling acquires Amcon's 3.8 billion naira shares. Yes, we talked about this story earlier. Oyobon twins, 473 Boko Haram suspects freed, jammed to conduct mock tests next week, and 66 die in Iran air crash.
Okay, moving on to the Daily Sun. Buhari shunned invitation to visit Benue, says Otom insists there'll be no 2019 campaigns in state until, of course, something is done decisively to solve the herdsmen-farmers clashes.
Of course, an average politician is not thinking about your own future. An average politician is thinking about the next election. So no matter what happens, people will come out to campaign for you, or you coming out to campaign for somebody. That's the sad reality.
But he's saying here that there will not be any campaigns if they don't solve the herdsmen clashes.
Wait and let's see. I am telling you that with my experience and my exposure to the political class, I know they will campaign. People are already campaigning for the president, even on the day that there were massacres here and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
People were practically forcing the president to run again.
Even the Minister of Communications at FEC meeting, you know, was sharing pickups of second term.
I was jokingly telling a lady from Kogi State that I'm going to take a second wife from Kogi State, because it's like people from Kogi are very, very, very loyal and they like to support people. If you know, the governor has been singing, despite the fact that there are a lot of problems for him to solve. Buhari must come for the second time. And they have a senator who is also crying that the Senate president. Anyway,
let's just leave that.
Well, we know that. Could this be a debate plot really on the side of the government? Maybe because just last week he said that if his people wanted him to defect from the APC to the PDP, he would.
Yes, and thank God that perhaps APC is very strategic. For the very first time, APC is very strategic about the president actually coming out to set up a committee to reconcile all the aggrieved members. Anyway, I doubt whether Asiwaju Tinubu himself is not an aggrieved member.
Well, Shehu Sani thinks that APC is doing. But if Tinubu fails, if Tinubu fails,
if not for that committee, by now we will have seen that, especially in the National Assembly, APC does not own National Assembly. Don't let us paint the picture of whether they have the majority there. It's a lie. That that is why many of the bills, at the end of the day, this is what we play out, many of the bills that the president are supposed to assent to, if the president says no, it will come back to the National Assembly
and they will
have their two-third majority, and they will continue.
And we're waiting on the Electoral Act now, amended by the National Assembly.
Yes, and we are also waiting for the Peace Corps.
Yes,
we're waiting for so many bills.
Yes.
All right, IPOB insists on Biafra, dismisses federal government support for state police. Of course, IPOB is saying we don't want state police. What we need is Biafra. All right, moving on from there, Army directs troops to get Shekau dead or alive. Obasanjo to undergo medical checks in Bayelsa Specialist Hospital.
Okay, that's what they did the other time when they built one in Akwa Ibom, you remember. And suddenly,
and
I
2
think
years
the governor...
after
it was even, I think within a space of time that the president, the governor had a crash, or the former governor.
Yeah.
And before we know it, the man is abroad.
So
after Buhari, after Obasanjo now, I doubt whether the high and mighty in the society...
All right, because of that, let's just quickly run through the stories. Ivanka won't be able to discuss it. Benue killings, continuation of 1804 jihad, or Tom Malabu Malami writes Buhari, once trial of Aluke, Diezani, others stopped. 2019, offer Nigerians better choice, IBB tasks PDP. Capture Shekau dead or alive. Kaduna APC faction suspends El-Rufai. Another crisis.
Just breezing through that one now. This day, that's our last paper this morning. Provide better choice of leadership for Nigerians. Babangida tells PDP. Well, the question is, can PDP provide that better leadership when you consider the fact that they've been given the red card, both the PDP and the APC.
All right, we have to wrap it
finally, Obasanjo, Jonathan reconciles, seek Nigeria's unity. Okay,
Dr. John, thank you very much, leadership strategist, for coming to your show. Thank you very much. All right, well, we'll keep you. Yes, the director says we should keep you. We'll discuss with you our first topic. So stay with us as we go on a short break. And we'll return. We're looking at the problem of out-of-school children. Of course, there are millions in the country, and the effort of the World Bank to help support the country to solve that problem, get them back into school. Stay with us.